Welcome into TFW Live, the best kept secret in fantasy football, where we keep that week one feeling going all year long. This is episode 355, where I, Austin Sear, are going to be talking about all the injury news and nuggets from around the NFL headed into week 11. But first, I wanted to let you know that support for TFW Live is brought to you by Manscaped. The best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision-engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. You can join the 6 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code TFWMAN over at manscaped.com. 20% off free shipping and the product itself with the code TFWMAN. I am Austin Sear, and if you love fantasy football and would enjoy joining a community where you know you belong, go ahead and hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. We'd love to get just one more subscriber on this stream. Just one could be you, and if you're new, if you're old, if you're anywhere in between, let us know where you're streaming in from. We'd love to give you a shout out on the show, kind of like Albert coming in here, Riders, Jersey J, Kim, what's up, your Lady V. Love to have all of you here, and I love to be with all of you. Whisper Nation, a ton of gratitude as well to our members on YouTube who support the show throughout their monthly subscription. Shout them out here. We got Pizza Belly, Hannibal, Gus Ramos, Don Caples, Bailey Ziegler, Nick, Brett Sabo, John Credit, Eric Lorenza, Donnie Tubbs, and our Jersey J here. If you would like to join our growing list of YouTube members, just click join it next to the video. Meow. Well, it is Thursday night football yesterday, Friday, quarterback armchair, whatever the expression is today. So we're going to get a little bit of a review from yesterday, talk about the Titans and the Packers before we jump into the news and the notes from around the NFL. I'm going to be taking all of your questions as well, so make sure you send them out my way. I'll do my best to get them in line with the subject at hand, but all questions will be answered before the show ends. I'll start up back at the top and get to the bottom. So I see them coming in there. Jersey's got some, Riders got some here. I will get to those, throw them my way. And if you are pressed for time, though, and you can't hold out, hit us with that super chat. 99 cents makes us dance, and we'll get that question answered ASAP. Welcome back, Austin. Thanks, Albert. Feels good to be here with you. Before I jump into the recap, I will take a stab at some of these questions here. Let's see what Jersey J's got. I need upside. Who's got the better chance to score this week, Michael Carter or Darius Slayton? Full PPR flex spot. Okay. Slayton has been really nice for the Giants. I got him going in the listener league. I was happy to pick him up myself a few weeks back. I think I'm still leaning on Michael Carter, though. I'm not surprised by either of these options coming out, but I think that Michael Carter has a hand on this backfield. James Robinson did come in there, but I'm not as concerned by Michael Carter splitting work at the running back position as I am to Slayton splitting work with other wide receivers in Giants uniforms. And Michael Carter's got that big playability in his tool belt. So if you're asking who has the higher ceiling, I could see Michael Carter breaking away for a long touchdown before I could see Slayton. I'd be starting Michael Carter ahead of Slayton myself. Riders Chambers asked, should I stick with Joshua Palmer or take a shot with Khalif Raymond, Devontae Parker, Terrace Marshall? That's kind of fun. I would still go with the Josh Palmer take as of now. I think he's got a little bit more substance coming in. Terrace Marshall has been nice, but given the quarterback shakeups, too many inconsistent variables for me to personally feel good about Terrace Marshall, who I do have rostered in my Dynasty League of Record. What's up, Calvin? Watson's the real deal for 2 weeks. If you go back and watch the rookie episodes coming in for the Dynasty Draft rookie editions, I was big on Christian Watson, was really excited to pick him up in the 10 spot in our Dynasty League of Record. He's just got that playability. Like his ceiling is through the roof. We just need it to come together, stay healthy. Dodson's on the wire. Okay. And the Titans seem to keep sticking around. Mike Vrabel seems to know a thing or two. Oh, Stephen Drakes. What's up, man? Appreciate the super chat. You know what that means, too. We got to go ahead and hit you with a whisper. Woo! Thanks for the love. Myers, Ayuk, Gabe Davis, Pittman. Thanks. Need 2. Half point PPR. All right. I'm just going to fade on Jacoby Myers on this. I get it, but I can't stand this Mac Jones, Bill Belichick Patriots. I think they're a team of suppressors, and I think they actually enjoy having things go in directions you don't expect or want. That's a personal take, but I'm sticking to it. I'm not going with Jacoby Myers. I like Brandon Ayuk's talent. I think he's probably the most physically talented and dominating receiver of the bunch between Gabe Davis, Pittman, and Ayuk, but he's got a lot of competition, obviously, with Deebo Samuel, with George Kittle, with CMC now in a 49ers uniform. But I do like Ayuk, and him and Garoppolo seem to have a real connection. Gabe Davis is cool. I like the upgraded stadium for the Bills now going from that snowstorm to Detroit. Gabe Davis is nice. Pittman's not bad either. I want to take one look here at a little bit of Gabe Davis keeper stats. Before I give you my answer. Really like those targets from Gabe Davis coming out last week. Most he's gotten all season, 10 targets, 6 catches, 93 yards. Let me take a look at Michael Pittman here too. I like the return of Matt Ryan. I like them playing at home. I don't love the Philadelphia matchup for Pittman, but I do like that Pittman gets what seems to be a more level-headed head coach in Jeff Saturday, gets a more level-headed quarterback than Sam Ehlinger in Matt Ryan. So I'm not turned off by Michael Pittman at all. I'm putting Michael Pittman in this bash because he has a chance to be the main vein for the passing attack. And then it's close between Gabe Davis and Ayuk for me. I think I'm sticking the big playability of Gabe Davis. I'm thinking about this in my own roster, and I think I'd be going Michael Pittman, Gabe Davis, and then Ayuk with Myers coming in fourth. Close between Gabe Davis and Ayuk for me. Good question. Yes, Christian Watson, the truth. Appreciate that shout out, Big Travie. All right, let's talk about this. Now, you don't trade. Don't listen to Jersey J. He's wrong on this right now. And if he's right, he's lucky because Christian Watson has all of the variables working in line for him, both with his own physical abilities as well as the opportunities presented on the team, as well as the growing rapport between Watson and his very picky quarterback, Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers is looking to Christian Watson in big moments. We are not in week 1 anymore when Christian Watson dropped that 75-yard bomb. He has secured 5 touchdown passes in 2 games. Aaron Rodgers does not have a go-to target. Randall Cobb would probably serve that role right now, but Randall Cobb is not a difference maker on the field. Christian Watson absolutely is. Christian Watson is a physical freak. I don't know if we give Christian Watson enough credit in the NFL industry right now between how different his physical makeup is between the rest of the wide receivers. I mean, we're talking Julio Jones type. We're talking Calvin Johnson type. We're talking a big ass, tall, strong, fast dude who can jump. He does everything better than every other wide receiver. Minus his route running isn't as sharp and his hands need work. This is true. But the physical skills that he brings to the table are almost unmatched. He's at that level. He's got the back-to-back MVP as his quarterback. Their rapport is growing. I heard somebody say that Watson is a touchdown-dependent wide receiver. That's silly. That is absolutely not the case. The touchdowns that Watson has been getting recently are, I would even say, almost on the flukier side. The fact that they're coming is a huge nod in the rapport department between him and Rodgers, because this guy is fucking fast, guys. 4.29 speed, 40, 6'4", 6'5", and he's strong also. He can catch a pass anywhere on the field and just take it to the house. Take a look at that end around run that he had a few weeks back on a touchdown. Wait, let's see here. So what do you say? Oh, stop. No, I'm not. So you wouldn't trade him for ETN? I would keep ETN over Christian Watson. But I love that that's where we're actually at with Christian Watson. Now, what, you wouldn't trade Christian Watson for Travis Etienne? No, of course. I would trade Christian Watson for Travis Etienne in almost any format in a heartbeat. But Travis Etienne is like an RB1 running back with elite upside every single play. So, yeah. 4 catches on 2 tutties. Come on. Yeah, dude. This isn't a fluky type of ability, though. We look at Randy Moss, 3 catches, 3 touchdowns. Christian Watson can beat any defender on any play. And if the ball is placed high enough, he's literally the only person who can catch it. Like, he's just got too many things in his repertoire to separate him from the rest of the pack. He can score on yards. He can score on touchdowns, high point the ball, steam through defenders. Like, yeah, okay, sell high. So I'm saying, yes. Jersey J, I do agree with you here. Sell high on Christian Watson if you can get him at like a wide receiver 1 price. But I'm not surprised if we see, I mean, let's just even take the last 2 weeks out of the picture. From this way forward, I am not surprised to see Christian Watson become a top 20 wide receiver with the rest of the games that we have left, like between week 11 and 18. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. So if you can sell him, though, at that price premium, like, yeah, do it well. Always sell high. I wouldn't be interested, though, in a lot of lateral movement because few players at his level, meaning like a guy who was on your waiver wire 2 weeks ago, bring the legitimate, almost reliable upside that Christian Watson would bring. Let's see here. Non-PPR, Swift, Palmer, Pacheco, or Justin Watson, just for one flick. I'd still probably, I'm not going. I think I'd go Swift on this one. He's just got such a great play style and ability to him, and he doesn't need a lot of opportunities to get going. I'm hoping that his health is finally clicked in and can make that get going. Yeah, Swift is back. I'm with you here, Jay. Trade Lockett for Mike Evans. I would like to get Mike Evans on this. I think in the playoff months coming up ahead, Lockett's cool. I've apologized multiple times now to Tyler Lockett. That dude is a straight up baller, like flat out. One of these, like, he's not physically intimidating, but his numbers just prove to be over and over and over again. All right. Good to see you too, Pizza Belly. Thanks for joining in. All right, Keg Carr, what's up, man? Pick one. Gus Edwards, Kenyon Drake, James Robinson, or Jaylen Warren. Let me go ahead and take one quick look here at some Kenyon Drake stats. 24 carries last week for Kenyon Drake. I haven't seen John Harbaugh give a running back 24 carries since like Ray Rice. Like, damn. Is it going to continue though? Well, I'm not. And then you got Gus Edwards right here too, which is concerning because it's questionable, limited practice throughout the week. Probably going to play. Iffy though. You like Drake more. I'm probably going to fade out the Baltimore running backs on this one because we might just get them canceling each other's production out essentially. James Robinson is going to be splitting time still, of course, with Michael Carter, Jaylen Warren with Najee Harris. It's between James Robinson or Jaylen Warren for me. We're going to be getting through the news and notes here in a second, but 20 still carries for Najee. Jaylen Warren's been on the up, but not as really as much as people think. I think I'm going James Robinson by a little bit and then Jaylen Warren on this one. I would stay tuned, though, between now and kickoff on Sunday because these are so close. Any bit of news to a Najee Harris or to James Robinson's own knee issues or any of these, or if Gus Edwards doesn't play, I'm going Kenyon Drake. But I expect both of these guys to play, but we need to keep an eye out for those updates. You can tune in an hour and a half, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time for the pre-show kickoff questions. So bring all of these news questions. We'll have new updates, and we can give you an even better take on these questions then. But as of the information we have available right now, Keg, that's where I would go. All right. Let's see. I traded Tyler Boyd for Lockett, win or loss trade since Chase is coming back soon. I hope Chase comes back soon. I got him in our Liga record. I was able to pick up Boyd before he got semi-shut down too. I think I'd still like Lockett though. Like Boyd will have games where he does better than anybody else on the Ravens squad, T. Higgins included. But I think Lockett's actually like a 1B. to Metcalf's 1A. And I think some people can make a case that like Lockett might even be like the 1A in Seattle, as where T. Higgins, I'm not going to put him behind Tyler Boyd. That doesn't mean Tyler Boyd can't have a better game than T. Higgins, but I think that Lockett has a better chance of being the main vein. So I would personally rather have Lockett over Boyd. So yeah, I think you got a win on this trade. Way to go. Boxy Kevin 100. Thanks for joining the show. And if you enjoy the content, you'd like to get more of it, consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you like this show, though, do me a personal favor. Hit me with that thumbs up button. It allows us to grow and connect with more people who love fantasy football. And that's literally my favorite thing to do on earth. Right. Ooh, I've got Rondale Moore, Tyler Boyd, full point PPR. I'm leaning. First initial thought here, I'm leaning Tyler Boyd a little bit. It's just hard for me to trust Rondale Moore's involvement. It's been so steady, though. You know, the last several weeks with a 90+ snap percentage. I mean, he's averaging like in the mid to low 90s snap percentage since week 4 with a 99% snap share multiple weeks. He had 13 targets, 9 catches last week, 10 targets, 8 targets the 2 weeks before that. Good yardage numbers. But I just don't totally buy into expectations for the Arizona Cardinals. I think they're a mess. I think Rondale Moore benefiting is almost going to be like not accidental, but and not fluky either. It's just a combustible situation in Arizona. And I think that the Bengals, while they're not as tight as they were on their Super Bowl run, are a little bit more predictable. And Tyler Boyd is a hardcore part of their game plan. So I would lean Tyler Boyd, but just by a little bit on this, not by a lot. Yeah, same thing. More will drop off because Brown is back. Even if they ease Brown back in, it's still a possibility for you. Easy come, easy go. Something I've been saying. Who do I start? Last question here before I jump into some of the recap and news and notes. Who do I start? Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, or Rondale Moore? Barring any health concerns on this one, I was just okay. Allen Robinson is interesting, of course, with Cooper Kupp down. Deontay Johnson still should be in that lead role, but it's been kind of funky over there with Pickett and the Steelers. And Rondale Moore, I just mentioned, he does have a lot of upside. He has had consistent involvement and opportunities, but I just think it's an inconsistent Arizona Cardinals team, and I can't trust the Cardinals. So that makes it hard for me to trust Rondale Moore, but I can't trust the Steelers, and I can't trust the Rams either. I want it to be Allen Robinson's time. I want him to finally take a jump this season. I think I'm probably leaning in the order that you have him right here. Allen Robinson, Deontay Johnson, Rondale Moore, but it's so close, Josh. Come back on Sunday before kickoff here. Would want to take another stab at this set of questions as well. Foster Moreau or David Njoku coming off his injury against the Bills. Just a recap of my flex question. Slayton is playing Detroit and Carter versus the Pats, who only allowed 2 running back tutties. Are you still leaning Carter? Yeah, just by a little bit, though. It was still close already. And like, fuck the Patriots, man. That's kind of my position, and it has been all year, and I'm going to stay in that spot. But yeah, the Patriots defense has always been good. Belichick is good about that. It is a real possibility. I think it's just going to be a forced bit of opportunity, and I think the Jets are going to come to play. But if you're leaning Slayton on this, Slayton's been really nice, and I'm excited to be playing him in the Listener League, and I totally get that. And you're a New York guy, so yeah, no, fuck it, dude. Go with Slayton. Go with your boy. Moreau or Njoku. I would lean Moreau on this until Njoku comes back. I'm sitting on Njoku in my league record as well. I'm excited to play him over Pitts, but I need to see it preferably first. What's up, Tyler? Need some help. PPR flex spot. Tyler Higbee, Darius Slayton, Curtis Samuel, or Kenyon Drake. Kenyon Drake if Gus Edwards doesn't play, but we got to wait and see on that. So come back on Sunday morning, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time. Not really vibing Curtis Samuel with some of the new happenings going on in Washington. Like, I like him, but I'm just not like sold on him. I like Slayton a little bit more. Tyler Higbee should probably be good, but with like Cooper Kupp coming out, which just hasn't been awesome as of late. So I think I'd lean on this one. One thing I want to check on Samuel. I think for me, I'm going to be going. No, I want to check one more thing. Yeah. I'm going to go Higbee on this one because I like his role on the squad and Cup going out. The ball's got to go somewhere. I like the logic pointing to Higbee on this one. Next would be Slayton for me. Then Kenyon Drake, then Curtis Samuel. If Gus Edwards is ruled out, Kenyon Drake, number one, not close. Thanks, Jay. All right, well, let's get to some of the stats just from yesterday. We got Darius Slayton news here. We don't care about this. Get out of here, guys. I want to take a look at the matchup from the scores from yesterday's game here. All right. So we had my Green Bay Packers take another L to the Tennessee Titans. Hoorah, hate that, but it was still fun. Aaron Rodgers kind of just been humming along in that low 200 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's like his ceiling and almost his floor. He's been going on that all season, and last night was no exception. Got outscored by Ryan Tannehill here at 333 yards, a couple of tutties, that one pick that the Packers couldn't capitalize on. Man, Derrick Henry. Until King Henry is dethroned, he's King Henry. Talked about it at the top of the year, talked about it last year. People just trying to get ahead of the curve. King Henry doing his thing. Aaron Jones, I was happy to see a bit of a bounce back. 12 carries, 40 yards. Did get that 2-point conversion. Still the lead dog. A.J. Dillon's been limping far behind. People who thought he was in that 1B role. Sorry if you drafted him early. Hilliard, man, like the internal poacher. This guy just keeps getting work. Get to the exciting side here, though. I thought the takeaways from some of the younger receivers, 2 rookies leading these teams, and Treylon Burks and Christian Watson, the truth. Treylon Burks, man, leading the day. 8 receptions, 8 targets, 7 catches for 111 yards. Welcome to the NFL, Mr. Burks. Love to see that. Congratulations, Dynasty rosters. I know you've been holding your breath for quite some time. It's been a roller coaster ride, as the Podfather showed us. Christian Watson, man, continued his touchdown streak. He got 2 of them. Just 48 yards, but 6 targets. And I saw Rodgers go into Watson in important moments. I don't know why that would stop the rest of the year and even in next year, too. We'll see what happens. But feeling good about Christian Watson moving ahead. Randall Cobb showed up. Robert Woods showed up a little bit, too. Not making huge impacts outside of your PPR formats, but I mean, still pretty good. 73 yards, 6 catches for Cobb, 6 catches, 69 yards, nice for Woods, and Westbrook Ekine and Alan Lazard, third options yesterday for these 2 guys. 11 targets though for Lazard. Man, I wish the Packers could just be better. It's looking like a tough season. I really thought we were going to win last night. I wish we did. Yeah. Robert Tonyan. Austin Hooper caught a couple of touchdowns. Love to see that. Dropped him in the listener league, though, for Tyler Conklin. Didn't love that, but I had Hooper going in another league. That was cool. Robert Tonyan, he's doing okay. Nothing exciting out of the kickers. Nothing notable out of the defenses. Good day here for those who started Christian Watson, Treylon Burks, Austin Hooper, and Derrick Henry, of course. All right. There we go. Whisper Nation, stay strong. Thumbs up. Nothing but the best for you. Thank you, Lady V. Thank you for that encouragement. We love it. Let's take a look now, moving over to some of these news and notes from around our NFL. Bam. You guys see that one coming in? There we go. All right, we got Cardinals head coach Cliff Kingsbury calling Kyler Murray a game time decision. All right, okay, I guess that's where we're at now. It seems like the spirit is down in the desert, and down spirits are not good for lingering ailments. Yeah, so that sucks. I'm a Cardinals fan as well. Will be a game time decision. Murray was spotted running the length of the practice field and pushed the hamstring today. While Kingsbury said that Murray was progressing, it has come a long way. It seems like positive news, but the optimism does not necessarily mean Murray will go on Monday against the 49ers. Fringe QB1 anyway, based on a tough matchup. Probably make some backup plans, guys. Even if Murray is playing. not all is right in the Red Sea. DeAndre Hopkins dealing with a maintenance deal. Sounds like DeAndre Hopkins is going to be fine. Marquise Brown has been dealing with that foot injury. Has been placed on the IR. Practiced on Thursday. Love to see that. Per reporter Josh Weinfuss. Brown didn't take part in all the individual drills, though when he did, he looked healthy. Seems to be trending toward an immediate activation from the IR. Yeah, but the Cardinals do look a little bit cagey. So make sure you got some backup plans in line. Sorry, my cat just made a weird sound. I was like, what did you do, buddy? Oh, there he is. Okay. No, we're all good. So Marquise Brown looks like he's coming back. I don't know if I'm excited about starting Marquise Brown in his first game back, but there is some enthusiasm, it sounds like. And if you didn't have a better option and you got to roll Marquise out, I think you could go worse places. Ryder's asking a great question. How do people get in the listener league? Great question. So throughout the offseason, we do different contests, opportunities to make it, raffles, things like that, and have different spots on the line. Past performers, based on how well you do, they get tickets in. There's just different opportunities that we have going throughout the year. The mock draft marathon, which we do every year in July. We give away a handful of spots during that event. So make sure you're just liked and subscribed. Follow us over on different socials, and follow along with the show. We've got a lot of different chances to be a part of upcoming listener leagues coming up. This year, it was a 16-teamer, single flex, full point PPR, with 4 flexes, though none super flex, but 4 flexes. So we get some interesting, fun rules that are in there, and it's always a good ride. Shout out Cats Pajamas and Jay Blizzy, past champions on that. Moving on now to it. Do we miss anybody else here? Colt McCoy. I don't care. All right, moving on. Next squad here to the Atlanta Falcons. Man, Kyle Pitts, what's up, dude? All right, Caleb Huntley. This is old news. So we got no news coming in. No news is good news for me if you're looking at Drake London or even Kyle Pitts. And it's probably the only guys you're looking at. Cordell Patterson, too. I'm glad that we're not getting any bad news on any injury statuses for our dude Patterson. Lamar Jackson was sick, making him questionable. He is going to start, though. Roll him out. Mark Andrews, full participant Friday's practice. Glad to see that. Is officially questionable. It'll be a game time call, but it looks like he is more likely to play than not likely to play. Here's where it gets quite interesting, though. Running back Gus Edwards, dealing with a hamstring, is questionable week 11 against the Panthers. Edwards was limited in practice throughout the week, making him truly questionable for week 11. He missed week 10 with the knee issue and was only 2 games back from his recovery from a torn ACL. Given how poorly J.K. Dobbins' return from a season-ending injury went, it would not be surprising for the Ravens to be extra cautious with Edwards. If he's out, Kenyon Drake would get the start, be a low-end RB2 for fantasy purposes. So just stay tuned on the Edwards news. I think everything they're talking about on the NBC Sports Judge blurb is making sense. Yeah, Jersey change. So brutal. Listener League is tough. I'm 4th in points out of 16 teams, and I'm 3-7. It is very tough. No doubt about that. Sharp players in there too. It's awesome. All right, Buffalo Bills. Isaiah McKenzie, not on the Buffalo Bills injury report. Nice. I don't know if he should be in your lineup, though. You could do worse, though. Glad to see Josh Allen's elbow not getting worse. It seems like. Not thrilled yet, but glad to see good reports, or at least not bad reports coming in. Jake Cumrow on the injured reserve, pour one out. Sorry for you, buddy. There we go. That's all of the Buffalo Bills news. Riders, I'll keep an eye out. Please do. Glad I found you guys. Glad you did as well. Glad our paths can link up. Are there separate channels for paying Discord members? Yes. Actually, we do. It's a little bit in a flux situation, Riders, on the exclusive Discord. So let me get back to you on that front, because I do know there's some updates coming in that category. Moving on now to the Carolina Panthers. Who we got starting this week at quarterback? Who's coming in for the Panthers? Is Cam Newton coming back? You get some candy down back. No, I don't think so. Sam Darnold. Let's see. Jeremy Fowler at ESPN reports some within the Panthers organization want Sam Darnold to get a chance to start in 2022. Been dealing with that ankle injury. Reportedly, he's fully healthy, but not a part of the team's quarterback conversation. PJ Walker and Baker Mayfield been taking turns being terrible, it says. A little bit of a pause here on PJ Walker. He's at least had some moments. PJ Walker, though, he's out with the ankle, as we know. It's given Baker Mayfield the start. Ugh. Just when I was getting excited about some of these things going on. And I hope Baker Mayfield can pull it together. Baker Mayfield should be better than he's been. And I hope we finally get to see that in a consistent fashion. No news outside of previous updates now. Chicago Bears, David Montgomery, who's been the talk of the town. Before we get to that, though, Cole Kmet, thigh issue, is no longer having him on the injury report. Looks like he'll be a full go. Kmet finally coming up. All these late round exciting sleeper picks from the Bears. Justin Fields, Cole Kmet, finally here getting it done. It just goes to show you, playing fantasy football is not for the weak of stomach. Cole Kmet obviously was a exciting sleeper and then was a tragedy and is now out here winning people games. We're not going to consider N'Keal Harry, though, on that. Khalil Herbert, as we know, landed on the IR. Fire up your David Montgomerys and your that's it for me right now. All right. Ooh, what's up, Emmanuel? Thanks for joining in over on Facebook. We just touched in on the Cardinals, so I'll circle back on this right now. Do I think Hopkins will be good to go, or should I roster AJ Green just in case? I think Hopkins will be good to go, but I wouldn't roster AJ Green in case anyways. I would pivot another direction beyond a Arizona Cardinals wide receiver. And if you can't get Rondale Moore, I wouldn't consider any other receivers here because Marquise Brown probably isn't available for you. Don't start AJ Green. I wouldn't recommend that one. Locker room presence for me at this point. That's what AJ Green serves. Going to Brown Town now. What do we got in store for the dog pound? David Njoku is questionable for week 11. Okay. Practiced the last 2 days and should be ready to return to the lineup. Yes. He told reporters that he would play. Borderline elite fantasy option before week 7 ankle injury. You know, I'm not going to go with elite. I don't even know if the dude broke like 15 points and anything but like a super points PPR league. But he was a tight end 1, given how sad the tight end position usually is. This year, no exception. So that's exciting. I am not going to start David Njoku myself this week. I'm still going to roll out with Kyle Pitts or, like a mid-level option just because I want to see David Njoku. I want to see him run around a little bit first. But very encouraging to see him coming back. Deshaun Watson eligible to return to practice this week. Keep an eye out for that. Also, if you are banking on Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, have a contingency plan. He could come back into form. He also might step into some rust like we saw him in the preseason. So just be cautious that you might not get elite performances out of the estranged quarterback at this point. Oh, Harrison Bryant. I don't care. He broke my heart. All right. Moving on now to the Dallas Cowboys. Michael Gallup off the injury report. Love that. Practiced in full. Let's see here what else they say. With Dalton Schultz appearing to be Dak Prescott's favorite number 2 target over Gallup, Gallup is probably a wide receiver 4 or flex play against the Vikings this week. I agree with that statement. Probably looking other ways other than Gallup, but I would take Michael Gallup over AJ Green if that barometer measurement helps. Ezekiel Elliott, he's questionable week 11, dealing with a knee issue. He is expected to play after getting in 3 limited practices this week. Jerry Jones said as much earlier today. The Cowboys' beats have been more or less in lockstep on Elliott playing. The question is just going to be how much of a workload he gets after 2 weeks of Tony Pollard looking excellent in his absence. Fringe RB2, they call him. I would call him that too. Elliott just got this weird bonus with him, right? Like Tony Pollard is clearly better, but we live emotional lives, and Ezekiel Elliott has emotional heartstrings with powerful people. So he shouldn't, but he probably will be involved more than you'd like. So bad news for Tony Pollard rosters. Good news if you're looking to start Ezekiel Elliott. And all right, moving on now to the Denver Broncos. Let's Clyde. All right, Andrew Beck, not going to play week 11. I'm not going to play him no matter what. Kendall Hinton, who came in, had some work. I'm not leaning on Kendall on this. Jerry Jeudy and KJ Hamler are out this week. He puts him in a decent spot in a wide receiver 2 position. I get it. If you're in like a desperate situation, Kendall Hinton isn't bad, but I'm not like, yeah, you got to get Kendall Hinton in your lineups. Like I was excited about what we saw Christian Watson do last week, and I did start him in leagues where I had him rostered last night. Kendall Hinton doesn't get the same kind of treatment. Not going to play Jerry Jeudy week 11. And looks like Hamler, same kind of situation, not going to play this week. What's up, Ronald? Great to be back with you, my guy. All right, moving on to the Detroit Lions. Man, did you guys see that tweet from the Lions official Twitter account or whatever to the Bills? It was like, all right, important notes of the important stuff's on the table. Keys are by the door. Please don't break any tables. Lock up when you leave. Something like that. I thought it was pretty funny. Jamal Williams, not on the final week 11 injury report. He was sick. Glad to see him feeling better. High volume RB2. Good stuff. DeAndre Swift, kind of pushing through right now. Still dealing with stuff. My cat's going to knock over this thing. No, Meshach. Don't do that. It's going to knock over this wall divider. Might see something funny happen on streaming live. No, don't do that, kitty. He just likes the Lions, apparently. All right, DeAndre Swift. Let's see, back to where I was. Kind of pushing through right now, still dealing with stuff. This is in sharp contrast to his status on the injury report, which is officially 3 days of full practices and no injury listing for week 11 against the Giants. With how he's been used of late, he's a flex at best. The words do not necessarily paint the picture of back who is ready to seize 50% of the carries this week. Yeah, this isn't encouraging. You don't love to see this. A lot of other words would have been better to read than what we just took in. We all still know his talent. He is still involved. Like he's active, getting full practices. Everybody in the NFL is pushing through stuff. So it's a tough read on how much of this do I really take to heart and how much do I not. Josh Reynolds is back, is making him questionable for week 11. Didn't practice on Friday. This feels like an optimistic questionable tag. I'm not going to start Josh Reynolds. And DJ Shark, glad to see him on his way back. Should not be in consideration for your fantasy team, however, but good for the Lions. Hope you guys can get some good things going here at the end of the year. Moving on to the Texans. Collins, groin, not on Houston's final week 11 injury report. That's good. Practicing full on Thursday and Friday. Should be Houston's number one option. Collins is going to be a risky start day, right, with how shaky the Texans offense is, but this wide receiver slate is bad enough for him to be a worthy wide receiver 3 flex. Yeah, I think that's on that side. Wide receivers, though, just do not benefit from the same opportunity that running backs do. And what I mean by that is a running back who's going to get opportunity is valuable in fantasy football. A wide receiver simply slotted to get opportunity doesn't necessarily mean shit. You got to create separation from your defensive back. You got to be able to catch the ball. Neither one of those things are easy all the time. So Nico Collins isn't bad, but we don't know if he's good yet. And so this could just be a horrible offensive output from the Texans. Brandon Cooks, not on the injury report. He's been so upset though as of late. I take players' spirits to heart, man. It's hard to step out there and play such a violent, intense game. And if you're not feeling it and Brandon Cooks is not feeling it, even if you're a professional, which Brandon Cooks certainly is, there's some enthusiasm that's gone, and enthusiasm can go a long way when paired with opportunity. So I'd be fading. I'm fading Brandon Cooks if I've got another option that's of interest to me. Here, Collins, Jersey J saying Collins is a great flex play, in my opinion. From the definition of a flex, thinking of a roll the dice, high upside, not really a lot of thought going into him, but hey, he could come out with 20 points. Absolutely. Nico Collins has got a lot of potential. He's in a good position. Could fuck around a couple times and have a blind squirrel find that nut. You know what I mean? So I don't hate it. I don't hate it as a flex spot, but just bake the risk in with your expectations. All right, you're at the Indianapolis Colts here. Deion Jackson knee is not on Indianapolis' final Week 11 injury report, but that's good. That's good for him. That's good for the Colts, but he shouldn't be in your lineup given Jonathan Taylor's performance last week, and I haven't heard any concerning updates to JT. So Deion Jackson's going to be filling in a replacement role. Jelani Woods not going to play Week 11, whatever. Yeah, there we go. Alec Pierce is out of consideration for you. What do you guys think about starting Matt Ryan this week if you're in a quarterback needy spot? I'm a little bit kind of turned on by what we saw out of him last week and Jeff Saturday. Just doing things that make more sense. All right, Jaguars are on a bye. No news for them. The Kansas City Chiefs took Jerick McKinnon, running back, off the injury report. That's cool. It's going to play. Not loving any of the running backs out of Kansas City right now just because of how broad the touches have been dispersed. But McKinnon's been really heavily involved most of the year. As much as you could say anyone's been heavily involved in the running back position for the Chiefs. MVS, not on the injury report. He's not sick anymore. Hooray. Juju Smith-Schuster won't play. Still recovering from that concussion. Godspeed. Mecole Hardman was placed on the IR with the abdomen injury. Going to miss at least the next 4 games. All continues to come up roses for Kadarius Toney. This is, of course, the big winner in all of this. Juju Smith-Schuster down. Mecole Hardman down. You love to see what Kadarius Toney could do with this added opportunity. Looked good in his Kansas City debuts here. I'm excited to see what that's about. Again, spirits, right? Tony's spirit in New York was way down, had been down. They just weren't jamming. And now he's in Kansas City, and he was showing us that talent that had Kadarius Toney drafted in the first round by the New York Giants not too long ago. So yeah, don't underplay the spirit. Don't underplay like where these people are at enthusiasm-wise with all the variables that are impactful. The Las Vegas Raiders. Whoa. ESPN's Dan Graziano. This says trap. Yeah, oh, we were just talking about the Chiefs. So, man, Andy does not like to do the obvious thing. This has trap written all over it. It's not that I don't think he likes to do the obvious thing. I just don't know if there is an obvious thing. Like, I think you're going to get Travis Kelce getting work. That's obvious. You know, when we've had a go-to wide receiver 1 and a Tyreek Hill, that's been obvious. But when we have like an actual good running back and a Kareem Hunt, you know, him getting fed, that's obvious, and it kind of happens. I just don't think we've got a lot of obvious work. Like, even Kadarius Toney isn't obvious yet. Like, he's exciting, but I don't think it's locked in yet in any capacity. And apparently neither is Derek Carr locked into a Raiders uniform. Dan Graziano out of ESPN believes the Raiders could release Derek Carr after the season. The Raiders signed Carr with a 3-year extension in April. Unlikely to see the Raiders move on from Carr a year after he recruited Devontae Adams to Vegas. Carr's deal has no guarantees left. Releasing him could leave $5 million in dead money. That's a bold prediction. We'll see. Stay tuned. Devontae Adams, questionable week 11. Adams is limited in practice throughout the week. He's not guaranteed to play. He would bet on him suiting up versus Denver. Man, I hope he does play. I need to win out in the listener league. I need to win out. What's up, Brett? The man, the myth, the legend. Keep up the great work. Rockstar 12th place here before the beard. I love you. There's no question here, but you gave us $5. And that gets us to read it out, as well as hit you with another whisper. Woo! Love you, man. Our back-to-back champ in our listener league is here in 12th place today. The sexy borings have become the borings. It just happens, man. It just happens. Glad to have you with us now. This is awesome. All right. Oh, we're still talking about Tony. Favorite wide receiver. Oh, this is with Andy Reid. That was Jay Savant. Yeah. Going to take his 4 deep shots the game. It's going to be fun. We'll stay tuned. Hearts. All right, moving on now to where are we at? All right, Devontae Adams. Man, I love when you were a Packer, dude. Life. We keep moving on. Okay. No, this isn't. Fuck this. Hold on. Give me a second, guys. Nice. All right. I see it coming in. XM Tucci _7279. I'm going to get to all of the start sit questions here as soon as I am through with the news and notes from around the NFL. We're at Las Vegas right now. We will get to all of the questions, I promise, before the end of the show. Stay tuned. If you do have a question related to the subject at hand, fire away. I'll do my best to tag it in. And if you also hit us with a super chat, we'll jump your question up to the top of the line as soon as I see it. DeAndre Carter, ribs, was removed from the Week 11 injury report. He's going to play against the Chiefs. I'm excited about that, but I'm not excited about playing him myself in fantasy lineups because we're getting other pass catchers back. Gerald Everett, groin, removed from the Week 11 injury report. Going to play against the Chiefs. So stoked for the Chargers. Mike Williams, questionable Week 11 against the Chiefs, was a full participant in Friday's practice, putting him on track to play Week 11. This is good. Temper expectations. He's an up and down player when he's healthy. He's coming back from a recovery, so he's not even fully healthy yet, but encouraged and excited for what Williams could do for the Chargers and your fantasy team. Keenan Allen is questionable for Week 11. Full practice on Friday, full practice, and it's going down with the hamstring injury. I'm tell you what, guys, I'm optimistic, I'm hopeful, but I'm not betting on Keenan Allen right now. He's re-aggravated this injury. It's been a weird year for him. I'm not going to say the year is over, but I'm not going to say the year is getting started this week for Keenan Allen either. Hold your breath. Have contingency plans. Hope for the best. That's where I'm at with Keenan Allen. All right. There we go. Justin Herbert, baby. Yes. I'm excited for Justin Herbert, though. This is good. More options, more pathways. Those are good things for the big arm quarterback. Moving on to the other team in LA, Matt Stafford's got a concussion, but he's not on the injury report Week 11. This is good. It would be better if he had Cooper Kupp in an offensive line. Yeah, that sucks. All right. I'm not seeing any news here on any of our other playmakers. We know Kupp is going to be going out. He's going to have surgery. Pour one out. Prayers up for Cooper Kupp. Let's see. Not seeing any new news here, so that's interesting. I'm fading on this backfield. I'd probably start Allen Robinson in my flex this week, but that's and Higbee. I like it tight end, but that's really it. Ronald brings up a good point there, saying lots of buys. So you might be in a situation where you need to lean towards some of these less than exciting options. I'm at Stafford, maybe, and if you're in a quarterback deep league and your guy's on buy or something like that. The Dolphins here. Would I play Keenan Allen or Antonio Gibson half-point PPR because I got that choice? I'd personally go Antonio Gibson. I think Antonio Gibson's actually decent, and Brian Robinson looks pretty good. But I don't like either one of these. I get it. I get it. Personally, I would start Antonio Gibson until I've seen Keenan Allen have himself a good day and get through the fourth quarter without re-aggravating that injury. That's where I'm at. All right. Jeff Wilson. Oof, look at him coming in there. Like him in my Lister League. Picked him as a handcuff to Elijah Mitchell. And now he looks like the starting running back. Jeff Wilson, that is, in Miami. And Elijah Mitchell still getting some serious work, even with CMC over there. So I'll take it. I need to win out. Throwing out. Praying for the win out in the Whisper Listener League. Finish with 7-7 and some other weird things to happen and sneak into our 16-team league, 8-team playoff. I can do it. 4th in points. Let's go. All right, moving on. Jeff Wilson played 61% of his snaps. The Dolphins, Week 10 win over the Browns. This is right. Dolphins are on a bye, though, so we can move on from the Dolphins. No news. No new news. All right. Our Minnesota Vikings, Justin Jefferson, toes, not on the injury report. He's going to play. He's going to rock out. And that looks to be the only bit of news out of Minnesota. That makes me happy because I don't personally like the Vikings. I'm a Packers fan. But we got to touch on it because we're professionals here. What's up, Ray Gamer? All right, I'm going to get to all your questions here in just a second. I'm going to bring this one in, though, because we were talking about the Chiefs just a moment ago. Steelers starting cornerback ruled out. Juju and Hardman out. Yep, the question is, will Patterson be in the 3 RB committee? What I'm worried about, or will he get more involved? Will Debo bounce back? Oh, I thought wow. I'm not trying to find the question here. What I'm worried about, will he get more involved? I think Patterson is going to be okay. We're talking about Cordarrelle Patterson. And I do think Debo will bounce back. Debo is Debo, and Debo is awesome. It's just I think his health is continuing to improve, and I don't think they need to lean on him as much. So he's going to bounce back. I think he comes back in full force, but I don't know if we see his full force being what we saw with what it was last season and a little bit earlier to start the year, because they just don't need him to be that version of Debo Samuel. They got CMC, they got Elijah Mitchell, they got Brandon Ayuk, who's playing really good. George Kittle is healthy right now. So they just don't need Debo Samuel to put all that load on. And we also know Debo Samuel's a little bit sensitive. Like he didn't want to be a running back in the same way. He didn't want to take that extra abuse. Yeah. So yeah, starting Jimmy G probably since Kyler is out. Yeah, I feel you on this one. Okay, moving over here. I'll get to the rest of the questions before we wrap out. But moving on, Devontae Parker's knee, making him questionable for Week 11 against the Jets. So inconsistent for these pass catchers out of New England. If you're in like our listener league where it's super deep and tough, someone's probably going to be starting Devontae Parker, and so this is good news over there. Being that he's on the optimistic side of questionable, it's still stay tuned. Ty Montgomery's out for the season. Sorry, buddy. I shouldn't be smiling. It's just what a weird addition, and how that was eating into the Patriots' backfield and the committee that they had. And 11 Ty Montgomery was like a good running back option for the Packers, the wide receiver convert. That was fun. But we are at a different day today. Moving on now. That's all the news out of the Patriots camp. Get some Saints action up on the board. Mark Ingram's not going to play Week 11. More reps for Alvin Kamara. Hope he can get that going. I need some strong action out of him in our listener league, in our legal record. Jarvis Landry is ankle, keeping him limited. The Saints are managing Landry's reps after he made a successful return Week 10. Check down Maestro. Andy Dalton keeping his job under center is good for Landry's cheap compiling odds. But he is the lowest end of wide receiver 4s in this misfiring offense. Yeah, I agree. No other news out of New Orleans camp. That's decent. Andy Dalton is starting. If anyone had any questions about that. We're not going to see Jameis Winston start this week. Who knows who's going to start the week after that, though? We'll just wait and see. New York Giants here. Got a lot of Giants fans in Whisper Nation. Got a lot of Giants fans happy this season. Seeing what Brian D has got going over there. Kenny Golladay is questionable. He shouldn't be questionable for your team. What does it say here? We're truly questionable to see the saddest # revenge game possible. We're shook. Fair enough. Wan'Dale Robinson, Giants head coach Brian Daboll said he's optimistic Wan'Dale Robinson hamstring will play Week 11. Robinson is officially questionable after a limited practice. Robinson did not practice Thursday ahead of the Giants' Week 11 matchup against Detroit. Yeah, probably looking for other options. You probably got better ones out there. Kenny Golladay is not one of those better options, though. All right, that's all of the news we got going on. Now, Saquon Barkley, man, so stoked to see your comeback player of the year. Contending performances continue. Shout out Steph Smalls. Shout out Jersey J. Shout out Classic Mike. All great Giants fans. Jets fans, man, I love this Jets team. I've been on them since before the season started. Picked up Breece Hall everywhere I could. So sad about that, but still about this squad. Corey Davis. It's not going to play Week 11. That's good news for your Wilson shares. I'm firing up in our listener league, or excuse me, league of record. I like Garrett Wilson this week a lot. Throwing that out there. We got Elijah Moore moving into the slot. This is all right. He's got a weird spirit about him. You heard me comment on spirits of players and like how enthusiastic they are. I think that's a real variable to consider when rolling out fantasy rosters. Elijah Moore's spirit is weird right now. So I wouldn't start him, but I do like to see some of the movement. I know, Jersey J. Don't remind me. Lost league winner, Breece Hall. Dude, I did too, man. I drafted him in my Dynasty League of Record. I drafted him in my League of Record. I would have loved to draft him in the Listener League. Sucks, dude. Hate it. Yeah. Hope he prayers up. Let's get you back for next year. You're still like 21 years old. Dude was drafted at age 20. Just hope he can heal up quick and come back strong. Tyler Conklin. I'm just still pissed I dropped Austin Hooper for you in the Listener League. But Tyler Conklin's got pretty high ceiling, and I like Corey Davis being out. Zach Wilson doesn't have a problem throwing a lot of passes to Tyler Conklin either. So even with Uzuma involved, like Conklin is one of those weird, like mid-range tight ends who does have a high ceiling. Yeah, he really does. So we'll see. Could do worse. No more spirit is fine. He's got too big for britches or wide receiver. No, this is what is affecting his spirit. This is what is making him feel like less of a person. This is what is making him not have as much connection with his own identity. These are all things that impact one's spirit. This is what I'm kind of talking about. Like he's just feeling down. Like he's feeling confused. He's weird. He's not his best self right now, which is not good for your fantasy lineups. Whatever the reason is, I hope that can come together because that's better things for him, better things for his teams, better things for your teams. Philadelphia Eagles, Devonta Smith, not on Philly's final week 11 injury report. Love to hear that. They call him a fringe wide receiver 2 against the Colts without Goddard. Yeah, I like that. He has a lot of upside too. So fringe wide receiver 2, but he does bring upside, which is good. AJ Brown, he's not going to be he's not going to be on the injury report anymore. That's great. It was a weird ankle injury. Love AJ Brown's ability. I hope he's feeling really good. You're firing up with enthusiasm. You love this. And we know Goddard's going to be out. All right. That's all the news we got out of Philadelphia. Updating you there. Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers. What do you guys think is going to happen end of season with the Steelers? Mike Tomlin is so good, but this team is weird, but then has moments. I just kind of think they're going to pull it together. I think they're going to make it. I think whatever that means, we'll see. Dealing with knee discomfort, Najee Harris. Supposedly it's a non-issue, but Harris is expected to be limited in practice this week. I think his performance is definitely an issue overall. I think his explosivity is an issue, but like Najee Harris is a big old steamer. He's just not going to be that wide receiver running back 1 from last year. Warren is going to have more of a realistic role. What's up, Kitty? Najee Harris is going to have a less exciting role. Factor that into your expectations moving forward. Deontay Johnson is they're just getting stats from him last week. So it looks like he's doing health-wise okay. That's good. San Francisco 49ers. Man, so many playmakers for these 49ers now. It's cool. Wow. Kyle Shanahan says his goal is for CMC and Elijah Mitchell to have about even carries going forward. That makes a lot of sense. You know, Elijah Mitchell is actually a good running back. CMC is a great running back. Everybody who plays for Kyle Shanahan at the running back position seems to get hurt, though. We don't need to give running backs 20-plus touches. You should probably limit their carries a little bit more and just let these guys be their best selves. Don't overrun them. But don't also sacrifice any of your team's effectiveness by, like, putting in an inferior player. I just really like the running back situation the 49ers have moving forward. I don't know if you like that as a CMC roster to see him not, like, just pedal to the metal like he was in Carolina, but this might make it a more sustainable situation. And that's all the news we've got. Seattle Seahawks are on a bye. Got my bye apocalypse going on. I mean, I got Travis Etienne on a bye. I got Ken Walker on a bye. DK Metcalf's on the bye. Oh man, I got some questionable starts I'm rolling out in my league of record. at my running back 2 position. Alvin Kamara is going to be paired with, as of now, Samaje Perine. You guys like Samaje Perine or Caleb Huntley? Because those are my best options at the running back position. Let me know. All right, Seattle Seahawks. Do we get anything new on this? No, we don't. All right. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Everyone's favorite scallywags. Yeah, just keep an eye out for White taking over the starting job over Fournette. That makes sense for a handful of reasons. Tennessee Titans played yesterday, so we don't need to talk about them anymore. Washington, we already did at the top of the show. Our final team here, the Washington Commanders. Let's see what we got. Curtis Samuel has been dealing with a shin issue. He was removed from the Week 11 injury report, though. He's going to play against the Texans. Had a full practice today. Pair of limited sessions opening the week. His volume's going down with Tyler Heineke under center. But yardage total has been mostly unaffected, they write. I like him as like a back-end wide receiver 3 for me. I'm not excited about Curtis Samuel. I am excited that Antonio Gibson was removed from the injury report. He's going to play against the Texans. Played through an injury. Saw him play through a shin injury all of last year. I do like this, but it is more reasons to bounce up Brian Robinson. You know, Ron Rivera wanted to get Brian Robinson involved. Then he couldn't because he was shot in the leg. And then Brian Robinson came back, but Antonio Gibson was playing better. Now Antonio Gibson is hurt a little bit. And Brian Robinson had that super cool arm extension touchdown last game. What's up, Enhart TV? Frozen? I hope not. But appreciate you tuning in from Twitch. Appreciate everybody here tuning in on whatever platform you're watching. If you like the show, hit us with that thumbs up or their equivalent and subscribe if you want more of it. Antonio Gibson, we want more of him, but we want him healthy. I don't know if we're going to get it. Logan Thomas, been dealing with a rib issue, is cleared from the injury report. He's going to play against the Texans. Glad to have him back. Not stoked about what he's done thus far, but aware of what he could contribute moving forward. Logan Thomas isn't bad, but he's not like great either. He's like a Dalton Schultz, like a compiler to me. Reliable, good, not great, not exciting, but available. And JD McKissick didn't practice on Friday, dealing with a neck issue. Necks are big deals, guys. Ruled out week 11 to the Texans. This is done. This helps Antonio Gibson's stock, of course. All right. Old repeating news. There we go. All right. That is our end of the news and notes. We got all the way through. Let's take a look at the rest of your questions, Whisper Nation. Quez getting a little bump. Quez Watkins for the Eagles. Yep. This should be the case with Dallas Goedert going down. Let's see here. I think I did a decent job at getting to most of the questions now, but I'm going to now get myself back up. Work my way back up through here. Okay, Ray Gamer here. Let's see. Boyd and Tony can both go up, possibly. Very true. Very true. I would say my team's turned a corner in the listener league. It did turn it did. I mean, back-to-back point leader. What's up? And the point leader the last 2 weeks in a 16-team league. That's not easy to do. A 16-team league with a lot of roster spots where people are starting weird people. Yeah, almost 200 points last 2 weeks. Got to keep it going, though. I need to win every single game just to have a chance. You're telling me there's a chance. All right. Oh, we did. I touched on this one already, Ray. Here we go. Start 2 in standard. Cordell Patterson versus the Bears. Kadarius Toney versus the Chargers. Tyler Boyd versus the Steelers. Debo versus the Cardinals. Okay. I don't think I can not start Debo. Even with all the people around, he's hands down the most talented and has done it before. Option of the bunch here. And then I'm going to go, I think, Boyd on this, just because of the upside and the consistency. Like, Tony, you might argue, is a little bit more talented. Patterson, you could argue, has maybe a bigger role, but these are still maybes. The fact that Tyler Boyd can hang in the talent conversation, even though he probably loses, he's still a talented wide receiver. He's trusted by his quarterback. He's trusted by his coach. He's factored into the game plan. Yeah, I'm going Debo and Boyd on this one for me. These are good options though. These are close too though. So stay tuned. Any new update on any of these options could shift my ranking on this. Keenan Allen, Antonio Gibson. Yeah, I'm sticking with my Antonio Gibson take on this one, especially with JD McKissic out. All right. X Matucci 7279. Marco Tucci, what's up? Thanks for joining in. 4 and 6 need to make a playoff push. What should I do? Team quarterback Fields and Russell. Okay. Running backs Mixon, Kamara, Henderson. Okay. Wide receivers Olave, Pittman, Myers, Slayton, Dotson. Tight end Knox, Foster. Okay. You're good at. You like the Fields push. You've got like I would kind of be surprised. I mean, Fields could revert a little bit. He's not going to revert as fully, even in a worst case scenario. Fields will not revert to where he started the year. He won't be that bad. The team has just seen, the head coach has just seen too much production and almost success. Like they've lost these last 2 games with Justin Fields kicking ass, but like they've been so close. They're not going to go back to where they were, but you might also not see Justin Fields continue to just like be gangbusters. But he should still be good. So you like where you're at the quarterback wise. Mixon and Kamara are fine. Henderson, actually, you know what I'll say? If you could get another running back other than Kamara, because Kamara still might get some hype. You still might get some like people excited about what he brings to the table, and you could upgrade in that RB2 spot. That's a consideration. Wide receivers, Olave and Pittman are nice. That Myers, Slayton, and Dotson does leave some more to be desired. I would look for some upside wide receiver play. It's tough for me to like start throwing out some names, like Christian Watson, perhaps. You know, there might be you might be able to get a reasonable price on a Watson. That's a guy who brings a lot of upside right now, who might be kind of cheap, given he's had 5 touchdowns in like 6 days. Depends on who the roster of Christian Watson is, but like somebody who's got a lot of upside at the wide receiver position, but isn't like identified as, you know, he's not a Stephon Diggs, it's not a Justin Jefferson, it's not somebody that shiny, but somebody who could compete on a week-to-week basis potentially. Maybe an Amon-Ra St. Brown. His price tag might be too high after a good week last week, but I'm looking at getting yourself a difference maker at the wide receiver position, maybe upgrading your RB2 from Kamara to an even more elite option. Something like that would be where I would put my head. You're good at quarterback. You're good at RB1. Your wide receivers are okay. You could use an upgrade there. And I don't give a shit about tight end, to be honest. Like you can just keep playing the waiver, keep taking a look at it. But there are guys on your waiver wire who are going to have great weeks every week. Like it's just the nature of the position. Don't invest too much on there because the guys who are actually difference makers, who are answers at that position, they're going to be too expensive. Travis Kelce's going to be too expensive. He might be like the only one, honestly, too. So don't worry about that. Let's see here. I think we might have gotten all the questions. We got Emmanuel's here. Do I think Hopkins will be good to go? Yeah, I do. Don't roster AJ Green, though. All right. How about Ezekiel Elliott? Temper your expectations. He should be the running back too. It should be Pollard's show. But we all know that Jerry Jones loves him, and Zeke's got a lot of history of being a really good running back, so you got to take that into consideration as well. Okay. Yeah, we got Jersey J's question here. Got Josh P's. All right, this is awesome. We got all of the questions. Yeah. All right, I got all of the questions from earlier in the show. Moreau or McBride at tight end. Good question. I'm still going to go with Foster. I'm going to lean on Moreau until I see McBride do it. I'm excited about McBride. I'd roster McBride, but until you actually see McBride in action, you don't bank on hype. I think about Bryant, the tight end who filled in for Njoku. It's like, get Harrison Bryant. This offense is built for the tight end. Harrison Bryant's a good tight end. He's got decent athleticism. It's really set up for him to step into the Njoku role and just take off. He didn't do shit. Like, it's not a 1-for-1, especially at any position, really, but especially at tight end. So I think McBride's going to be good. I just haven't seen it yet. I don't think Moreau's awesome, but I've seen enough to want to get him going ahead of McBride until I've at least seen it from McBride. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jersey J. Sincerely, it's great to be here with you guys. It's been a little bit of time. Champ EZ needs me to pick one. Kadarius Toney, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. In that order, sir. Kadarius Toney, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. I like the upside of Toney with Juju out, with Mecole out. I liked what we saw DJ Moore doing the last couple of weeks, but Baker coming back makes me really nervous. Curtis Samuel is okay, but I'm just not excited on him. Yeah. Thanks for coming in. Thanks for being here. Whisper Nation, thank you everybody for being in here. Really, it's been a couple of weeks since I've been with you. Shout out to the incredible candidates for elected office that I've been working with over the last year. We picked up nothing but wins. I run political campaigns, Whisper Nation, as well as coming back to my favorite thing on earth, and that is hanging out with people who love fantasy football and all of the good stuff fantasy football brings into our lives and the connections that it provides. There really is nothing like it. Getting a chance to spend an hour or two with you guys is always an honor and such a joy. And it's been great to be back here with you guys. And yeah, all my candidates won, guys. Like, we're doing some dope shit. So excited for all of those new elected officials to be sworn in the coming months, and for new chapters in Los Angeles to be written and previous chapters extended, and a better day, a more inclusive day, a more beautiful day is what we will work for every day until there's no more tomorrows. All right. Oh, I got some more questions here. Joe coming back as a boss. Oh, example that of a backup that failed. Exactly. So just wait until you see it. It's it's building. They're doing their thing. And all of the races out here, a lot of them are they're nonpartisan races. Like it's just the nature of the office. A lot of them out here might be that way. So not really looking at party politics in that same way. Just looking to try to see people who genuinely care about their communities able to come in and make a better day ahead for everything that is to come. Guys, it's been an honor again, a lot of gratitude, a lot of love. I love all of you very much, and I will be back with you soon. Make sure you are liked and subscribed to the channel. Catch all our notifications. Next show coming up Sunday morning, an hour and a half before kickoff, 8:30 a.m. We'll catch you next time, guys. I'm Austin Sear. We're the Fantasy Whispers. We're out. Peace.
Right here.
Look at you go. You made it to the end of another one of our videos. Hey, if you still have some questions, I totally understand. Or you just want to join an awesome fantasy football community, head on over to our Discord chat. Link is in the description below. And if you're still not sold on us, check out one of these videos.